That's a huge connection that we get through art and creation. And I think that's so important. So again, the fact that there's people out there that want to do this, but think that maybe they can't, I just want to smash that down. I want to get to as many people as possible and lift them up and tell them everything that they need to hear and watch them change. We're going to go over a bit of why I started wanting to do this a bit more. It's been a project that's been in the works for a long time, for over 2 years now. There was a moment, everything came together and it was like, okay, I think I have to build something. I had been out of school for a few years. I made some headway with bands, playing a lot of shows, put out an album. We were gaining a lot of traction. Was able to cross a lot of things off the list. I had a lot of expectations for myself as a musician and as a writer. I was starting to feel like I wasn't living up to my potential, my ideas and my skills and stuff. Nothing was being really appreciated or given the proper environment in which to work. Just everything kind of needed a change. You can't keep going on that kind of a level without something just breaking. I kind of decided I want to go back through all of my notes from school. I have this giant thick binder. I haven't looked at this in a while. I should probably just start looking through and seeing what I can find. I wanted to take myself through all this info that I had been given in school. I could strengthen what I'd learned, give me some new ideas, try and reignite that passion for music that I felt was kind of like slipping away. There was so much information. It was crazy, like just stacks of paper. And I needed to organize my notes to make them coherent. We had guitar masterclass, be like a lecture. Our teacher for that, his teaching style was very much like, I'm a university professor and this is a lecture and here's some really crazy stuff that's gonna blow your mind. Trying to go through those notes, they're all over the place. It took so much time, and I wanted to try and create some kind of efficient practice routine methods and workouts so that I could cover all of this stuff. If you were to sit and actually try and practice everything, I was finding in all of my notes and all the things I was expected to do on a regular basis in school, you'd be practicing for 76 hours and then you'd be like, okay, gotta start the next routine. It just wasn't possible. Looking through and trying to find the efficiencies of how can I combine maybe 3 or 4 things together and cycle through in different ways. It took like several days of going through all these notes, trying to find consistencies and writing things out and organizing it a bit better. I started realizing like how much I actually learned. It was hard because teaching kids who don't want to be there, you just feel like, what am I even doing? But then I start looking through my notes and remembering all these revelations that I had sitting in class and practicing in the practice room, and all of this was in here, and there was so much that was at work when I was playing, but then I was going back and seeing all the little things I had to learn to get to that point. It was the equivalent of climbing a mountain and being like, oh, all these rocks look the same. I haven't gone anywhere different for so long, but then you finally take that moment, look behind you, and see like the staggering cliffs you have had to scale to get to that point. There's all these choices that you could be making in music that you didn't even know you had. If someone had taken this time to organize all these things and draw these connections from different classes and subjects that seemed like they were separate, but they're all talking about the same thing. If someone had done that for me in the first place, my life would have been made so much easier. My ability to learn and make these connections, it just would have changed everything for me. If someone could have handed me these simplified notes, it would have changed my life and made things so much easier. If I was wishing that I had this before, if I could go in a time machine and give this to myself, then there's definitely people out there that would want this. Maybe they don't even know that they need it. If they start seeing these connections and making these revelations for themselves, then they have that epiphany moment. They have that life-changing musical progression moment where everything makes sense. So I started to kind of think about all the stuff I was learning with online marketing and social media through the band, and started thinking, if I can combine these interests with all of my interests with music and all of my passion and all of my knowledge, my desire to teach higher level music ideas and to create something new and interesting and important with music can finally be fulfilled. I can reach more people. The barriers for who can be reached are gone. Reach more of the right people. I'm not going to have somebody who's acting as a gatekeeper. Don't teach these kids about how chords work, because then they're not going to buy the books that we sell in the store. That's a terrible way to think about bringing education to people, especially with music. Reach more of the right people and get the message out there to the people that like need to hear it. So now I can find those people who desire to write. They want to write music, make their own music, and write better music and push themselves to change and change the world around them. All of this was coming together, and I just wanted to find the people that want to change their music and change their life, make themselves into this transformed vision of themselves that's taking the energy of their music and putting it out into the world and making things better. You know, no big deal or anything. I needed to start putting my ideas online. That's where the whole plan came from. I started reading through all my notes and my books and my textbooks, trying to order things, create some kind of curriculum. So I also began researching more about online business and social media strategy. I started learning how to build a website. I want to create actual applications and software that you can use and interact with and make this more of a practical experience when you're learning about these new concepts. It didn't take me very long to figure out that building a website is insanely hard and time consuming, and you're constantly going to be changing your ideas around. Starting a business is same thing. It could just be, oh, I want to teach music. I want to talk about cool things with songwriting. Well, is there a market, and is there a way that I can put this together to make people want to learn about this stuff? I want to be making music, and now I'm just over here doing all this crazy stuff. I was just working full-time on band stuff, then boop, you know, that was gone. It was difficult because that had been my entire life, and that's just completely turned upside down. Not long after that, Justine lost her job. She was managing a cafe, bar, restaurant, showed up for work one day and the door was chained shut. So there was like wages withheld and she wasn't getting paid properly to begin with. And then, surprise, we found out Justine was pregnant. There's a baby on the way. All of this stuff just happened all at once. We didn't really know what we were gonna do. There was just endless challenges. There was just this isolation. Everything that I had built my entire life around was turned upside down, and everything was dumped out, and then everything was just gone, and it was just us. And now we have a baby on the way. We don't have any income. We don't have jobs. It was just nuts. I didn't give up on the idea. I kept working on it. One of the things I thought of was to go to school and make this more legitimate. I managed to get into a business program and have these ideas validated and make these connections and learn the back end of how a business actually runs. Give this the legs that it needs to stand on so I can keep creating and making this happen and get out to people. The biggest thing has just been this empowerment. After going through so much stuff and feeling like, who even am I? My entire identity had been built around all this other stuff that was over here, and then that was gone. The baby was born, got accepted into school, made all this progress over time and in putting things together. We basically have just started from less than zero, and now everything is coming together, and it's just been this amazing experience of creating something bigger than myself, and not even just with the business, but a human life. My son, he just turned 1. The past year has just been so amazing. I've just learned so much about finding ways to exceed my potential and make something bigger than myself. This is music and music is this, and they're just fueling each other. It's getting me so excited again to be doing this and want to teach and want to make something to help people get to where I am, have these experiences that I've had, serving others to help you progress with what I've already learned. You're gonna have your own epiphanies. You're gonna have your own moments. You're gonna have your own challenges that you have to get over or quit. Let's talk about all these things that get in the way, you know, make you feel like you're lost and you don't have an identity and you don't have any expression. Making music is just such an important thing. We need music that's intelligent and good and emotionally not a vacuum. We need people out there writing good music based on how they feel. There's tons of people out there that have had it like way worse than me, and they need a way to express that, not just for themselves, but to get out to other people. When you hear music that is conveying those types of deep personal emotions and experiences, and you relate to that on some level, even though you're not that person and you didn't go through exactly that, that's a huge connection that we get through art and creation. And I think that's so important. The fact that there's people out there that want to do this but think that maybe they can't, I just want to smash that down. I want to get to as many people as possible and just lift them up, tell them everything that they need to hear, and watch them change and watch them transform. This is about me going on a journey to start all of this so that you can have a journey and get on your way. I'm really excited to see what we can change, and I'm really excited to hear the music of people that didn't think that they could do it. That's gonna just blow me away when we can start getting that kind of feedback from people who are like, I was so scared, I didn't think that I was gonna be good enough to write songs. Here's this one, I hope you like it. That will bring me to tears. It could be something that's like doesn't personally affect me in any way, but it does. That story behind it, somebody moving a boulder up the hill and taking those first steps, that's why I'm doing it. That is the reason. That is the creation of MFile. That's why I had to do this, and worked for the last 2 years, shut everything out and changed my life around. I thought I needed so much stuff to exist, just have my identity wrapped around all these things, and whether I let them go on my own or they were yanked away, it's just been this incredible rebuilding of something. And the more time I spend with it, the more excited I am to get this out there. So that is the backstory of why I decided I need to do this. Hopefully it turns on something in your head. Hopefully that light bulb moment happens and you're like, I'm gonna do this now. I gotta go and I gotta make this happen.